Munira Wilson.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Can I congratulate the Chair of the Select Committee on this report and thank her and all of the committee's work on it and her statement today. I particularly want to welcome the recommendations on kinship care, which mirror very closely, actually, the measures that I put in my 10-minute rule bill that I introduced in this place 3 years ago and that we on the Liberal Democrat benches have been campaigning on. And I hope she'll work cross-party to make sure the government goes further and faster on kinship care. But in particular, I wanted to pick up her recommendations on the Adoption and Special Guardianship Support Fund. She and I know how distressed families are of children who've been adopted or put into kinship care who need this support. Does she agree with me that actually it's a very small amount of money, that if the fund could be slightly expanded, then all children could go back to having the level of support they had before the cuts were introduced a few months ago?
I thank the Honourable Member very much for her question and for all of her interest in this and work in this important subject area. On the Adoption and Special Guardianship Support Fund, the report makes strong recommendations about the need to make the fund permanent and for the need for the government to evaluate the impact of the cut in the short term and to review and to make changes to the level of the funding if that is needed. We know that the government is also looking at changes and improvements, particularly in access to mental health services, so that more children who are adopted can get support through the mainstream of health services without having to rely on that specialist funding as a supplement for that. And we think the government should look very carefully at how that goes, but not be hesitant to make changes to restore the fund if that is needed following monitoring.